Well, I'm going to show you how to make a full-size skull. You've seen some videos of my skull walls. I made some half skulls and some sideways skulls and some full skulls, but I haven't put any full skulls in my skull walls. But I had a couple of requests on how to make these skulls. So what I'd used was the Walgreens skull. And there's a Walgreens skull. And took off the jaw and put a piece of tape over the bottom of the skull because I'm not really into that much detail. A lot of you other folks can make it look prettier if you want. But some of the places, as you'll notice, is like where the jaw goes. There's a little holes there, some deep recesses throughout the skull, like around the nostrils. So to fill in some of those, I picked up some air dry modeling clay from Hobby Lobby. Of course, this is like $8.99, 40% off coupon. Makes it around $5 almost probably. What I'll do first is just fill in some of the deep spots in the skull. Like I said, I'm not going to be that pretty about it. So this skull has been molded so many times. I got all sorts of plaster and everything else on it. So we'll just fill these in rather quickly. So I just filled in a couple of the spots, like see around the ears area, side of the nose, a couple of little small spots, but it's about that of that. I'm going to see if I can move a light around so you can get a better video. Alright, next now we got the skull here. We're going to lay in some silicone, so it's necessary that you use silicone 1. So you need to make sure it says silicone 1 on it. So you take the silicone, squirt in a fairly decent amount into a disposable container, because typically these containers are only going to be used once, maybe twice. Then you'll take some naphtha, typically from Home Depot. Pour in some. Take something like a plastic knife or a wooden stick or something, tongue depressor, something that you don't mind throwing away. We'll stir it in. This takes a little while. Of course, you want it to get fairly smooth. You don't want it real runny, but you don't want it real thick neither. It kind of look like it's turned into a gel at one point, but then it'll start smoothing on out. course, as you can see, it's getting somewhat loosened up. So I'm just adding just a little bit more naphtha in there, just to make it a little bit more runnier or looser. You don't want to inhale too much of this. You can try to do it in a well ventilated area. I'm going to go with this mixture for now. So now that I've got it somewhat mixed up, I purchased some acrylic paint from Hobby Lobby. It's like $2.99. I used my 40% off coupon. So I got two different colors, blue and yellow. So just squirt just a little dab in there, just enough to change the color. So at first it doesn't look like it's mixing too well, but then after a while it got a little itty bitty bit. It makes a lot of color. So you can see it's turning pretty good. You want to do this so you can see where you're applying. Silicone. Picked up these brushes from Harbor Freight, pretty much about the cheapest place I found. They're about 3/4 to an inch wide brushes. You can get a pack of 36 for about $6. Like I said, about the cheapest place I found. So what you want to start doing is just start coating it on there. You don't want a real thick coat. You just want to be able to coat it real good so you can pick up all the detail of the skull. Once you start playing with this, it'll actually start hardening up fairly quickly. So you want to move around real quick with it. So make sure you get it all covered. As you see, I'm not wearing any gloves, but it's advisable that you do, just because this stuff has the naphtha in it, and I'm sure if inhaling naphtha can harm you, probably having it on your skin probably isn't that good neither. But I was in a rush to make this video, so I plumb forgot. Of course, we're not going to be able to coat the whole skull all at once, just because I can't, hang on to the whole skull without getting silicone all over me and all over everything else. But we'll try to get as much as possible. Of course, this is pretty much the cheap, and I don't know how much cheap is, but this is pretty much the cheapest and quickest way that I've found. Of course, I'm not going into a lot of detail. These aren't showpieces. They're not meant to be resold or in my yard. Most people that see them are going to be at nighttime. Looks like I made up just a little bit too much silicone for this one particular batch. but that's alright. So you can see, thin coat. It's already starting to thicken up. So I'm going to stop right there for now and let this dry. Next time I wear gloves, I get that crap all over my hands. Well, it's been about 30 minutes roughly. The silicone is fairly well dry to the touch. As you can see, I got gloves on now. Got smarter after the first one. So now we're just going to finish up coating the rest of it. And so I'll show you the finished coating here in a few. Alright, we finished up with the second coat. So put on the yellow, and as you can tell that, it's not thoroughly covered. You can still see some blue in there, but we're going to go over it now with a third coat. So we're going to add another coat of blue. Already got the silicone mixed up inside with the naphtha. So we're just going to stir this in.